Tell me how you feel about herd immunity, because I think we saw Sweden attempt that.
Yeah, it was also very clear right at the beginning that natural herd immunity was not a viable strategy. There would just be too many people dying along the way. And you can see that happening now. So herd immunity is basically doing nothing and just letting it run. Now Sweden has moved towards protecting the elderly because they were very much victims at that stage. But you can see the number of deaths that are happening and the hospitals that are overwhelmed, and therefore that makes the death toll even greater. You can see because of this that's why herd immunity can't work. You can't just let it run.
But by the same token, your view on lockdowns isn't, absolute either. You're not, close the doors and pull down the shutters.
I think it's appropriate to do a lockdown if you're overwhelmed or heading towards being overwhelmed and you need to buy 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, to build up your systems, to build up your testing capacity, your contact tracing capacity, your hospital capacity. Everything just needs to be amplified, and you do that while you're locked down. So I would hope that all the state jurisdictions in Australia that have had harsh border closures, I hope they haven't just been sitting back enjoying the COVID-free air. I hope they've been actually building up those capacities, because if it gets in and they need to lock down, that would be a major failing of that jurisdiction, I think.
People are good at lockdowns once and just barely twice, but never great on a third time, huh?
Well, no, and that's what you're going to see. The public say, OK, you asked me to lock down, but you were supposed to get the public health systems in place. You were supposed to get ready, and now you're telling me to lock down again. It seems I'm doing my part of the deal, but you're not doing your part. So yeah, repeated lockdowns are a big ask. They're very tough on people.
Is the world where you thought it would be when this first began in relation to COVID?
I think so. I think there's no real surprises. We knew it would spread to epicentres around the world from China. I guess I didn't really foresee the reliance on lockdowns. I guess I thought government would pay more attention, and I mean governments in general, would pay more attention to the scientists and really ramp things up.
On the international stage, what is the report card for Australia from your perspective?
Well, it's generally looked on favourably. I would say, of course, your comparators are Europe and the Americas, where there's been really untold deaths. But of course, the report card is still being written, and it's how things emerge still.
Is there a star performer?
Singapore would be. There was a large problem, as you know, when it got into the migrant worker dormitories. And that was also at the end of March. About 95% are from the foreign worker dormitories. There's only 2,000 cases roughly that have been transmitted in the community. So Singapore is a very strong performer, except for that one weakness which punished a lot of people.
What about Taiwan?
Well, there's countries like Taiwan, Vietnam and Thailand that have all had clusters but basically eradicated it. And there's no cases, or there's an occasional cluster similar to New Zealand. But I think when you eradicate it like that, and I'll put eradicate in inverted commas, you are painted into a corner somewhat where there's zero tolerance for cases. And when I say zero tolerance, I mean by the public. Sort of, we've locked down, we've gone through these curfews, we've done all these things, and you're now going to let cases in from another country. And we say yes because so the ideal response is, yes, we can let people in because we believe we can detect those cases, do the testing, isolate, quarantine, contact trace and shut it down.
Hello, I'm Liz Hayes. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.